रंग से सजाए, रंग से सजाए।
आत्म स्मृति का तिलक लगाए, दिव्य गुणों के रंग से सजाए।
वो बोले मधुर मधुर हम बोली, हम आत्मा शिव की अब होली। ओ सच्ची होली हम मनाए, ओ ज्ञान पिचकारी चलाए। ओ आओ हम खेलेंगे होली, हम आत्मा शिव की अब होली। ओ सच्ची होली हम मनाए। मंगल मिलन अब शिव से मनाए, शिव से मनाए, शिव से मनाए। संपूर्णता के गीत हम गाए, गीत हम गाए, गीत हम गाए। मंगल मिलन सब शिव से मनाए, संपूर्णता के गीत हम गाए। वरदानों से भर के झोली, हम आत्मा शिव की अब।
Om Shanti. Good morning, Divine Family. Today's Murli topic is 2nd April 1972 Avyak Murli, How to be Worthy of Glory. Mahima Yogya. In Hindi, Mahima Yogya. How to be Mahima Yogya, how to be worthy of glory. This Murli, this is a great Murli which speaks about how to be worthy of glory at this confluence age, how to become what Baba expects from us, the kind of form. And in this Murli, Baba has highlighted on two aspects, most important aspects, which are the foundation of being worthy of glory. First one is that I am an elevated soul, I am a great soul, that consciousness. And second is I am a guest in this old world and in this old body. The guest consciousness. And thereafter, Baba has given us the techniques of how to check at every action and every thought as to whether they are elevated and they are performed with the consciousness of the being a guest in this world. Thereafter, Baba speaks about how to finish the consciousness of mind and what are the techniques for that. And the six things Baba spoke about of the introduction of the Father. And to keep these six aspects of our own self also in the awareness. So let's read this Murli together by being seated in the seat of soul consciousness. I, the soul, am seated on the throne of the eyebrows. In between the eyebrows, I am a point of light, a shining star. I, the soul, am listening with my mind, intellect, and my sanskars, aligned with Baba. In order to constantly remain beyond, what two things are essential? At the present time, each one of you is making effort number-wise in order to remain in the stage beyond. So keep experiencing, the what Baba is basically speaking in between the lines. Underline the words stage beyond. What are those two essential things through which you can easily stabilize yourself in the stage beyond? There is remembrance anyway, but what are the two aspects even within that? Tell Baba of the two things in two words. Now you have to bring the expansion of knowledge into its essence. Can the Shaktis easily put the expansion into its essence? Relate this from your own experience. The stage of remaining beyond and the stage of being a detached observer are one and the same thing. This is important. The stage of remaining beyond and the stage of being a detached observer are one and the same thing. For that, the two things that you have to pay attention are firstly, I, the soul, am an elevated soul. And secondly, I, the soul, am at present a guest in this old world and in this old body. By keeping in your awareness the aspects of being elevated and being a guest, you will naturally and easily go beyond. And the attraction that develops because of weaknesses are and attachments finishes. Basically, Baba is trying to say that Mahan and Mehman, that I am an elevated soul and I am at present a guest in this old world and in this old body, so that it will help me naturally and easily to go beyond. And the attraction that develops because of weaknesses and attachments finishes. So whatever the soul is experiencing, any kind of worldly attraction, because of the weaknesses and attachments, they finish. So whatever ordinary thoughts and ordinary actions you have because of the influence of old sanskars will all be transformed by considering yourself to be an elevated soul. By having an elevated awareness, your sanskars, thoughts, words, and actions all change. So the, the awareness, Baba says, is the foundation of the sanskars which emerge at the present moment, the thoughts which emerge, the words which we speak, and the actions which we perform. So the key is the awareness. So if we have an elevated awareness, automatically our sanskars, thoughts, words, and actions all align according to the awareness. Therefore, keep an elevated awareness. Therefore, by constantly moving along, considering yourself to be elevated and a guest, you will become praiseworthy at the present, in the future, and also on the path of bhakti. So, not only present, but also the future, and also during the Dwapar Yuga, where on the path of bhakti. If you do not consider yourself to be elevated and a guest, you cannot become praiseworthy. Praise is not sung just on the path of bhakti, but throughout the entire kalpa. You become praiseworthy in one way or another. Those who are elevated in the golden age, that is, those who become the world emperor or world empress, become worthy of praise by the subjects. On the path of bhakti, you become praiseworthy in the form of deities. And at the confluence age, when you demonstrate how you perform an elevated task, you become worthy of praise by the Brahmin family and all the other souls too. So, simply by considering yourself to be a soul who is elevated and a guest at this time, you can make yourself praiseworthy throughout the entire Kalpa. Such a great attainment by considering ourselves to be elevated and guest at this time. Baba says, check your every action and thought as to whether they are elevated. Now, Baba is coming to the checking part. Once we have fixed our awareness in the two aspects that I am an elevated soul and I am a guest in this old world and this old body, then we need to check at every regular intervals that my every action and thought as to whether they are elevated, that is performing, whether you are performing them considering yourself to be a guest or whether you are simply carrying out your task. Then attachment will finish. So the guest will not have any attachment. Baba describes it later part. You are not a guest just in this world, but you are also a guest in the building of this body. When you considering when you consider yourself to be a guest, the attraction to the consciousness of the body and the sanskars that are still there in the form of your awareness will very easily be finished. If you had a building which you sold for one reason or another, once you have sold that, it no longer belongs to you. This is example Baba is giving, Lockic example. Then although you may even still continue to live in that same place, you would continue to live there whilst considering yourself to be a guest. So what is the difference? If we have sold our house, the sorry, the difference will be we will continue to live in the same place, but we will continue to live there whilst considering ourselves to be a guest. It's not mine, not mine. So there is so much difference in considering something to be your own and in considering yourself to be a guest. So now the body which you used to consider to be yours should no longer be considered to be your own. Would you now say that it is yours? Baba is asking, in a guest consciousness, would you now say that it is yours? So that body is no longer yours because you have died a living death, Marjiva Jaram. That body is no longer yours. Have you surrendered your body or do you consider it to belong to you? Now the life span of that old body has already finished. According to the drama, that body is still functioning for the sake of the godly task, and therefore none of you can say that that is your body. The feeling of the body belonging to you has now finished. At this time, Baba has given the soul this body on a temporary loan in order to perform actions. Just as Baba doesn't have the consciousness that it is his body, but that he has taken it on loan in order to play a part. So, in the same way, you are like the Father, are you not? So, we can take the example of Brahma Baba. There are many things included in the word mind. So, Baba is now going into the detail of various aspects associated with mind, the word mind. When the consciousness of mind is finished, many of its companions also finish, and you will go beyond at a much elevated stage. You have taken that body on loan in order to carry out the godly task. That body is not for performing any other task. When we go beyond, when we are in this guest consciousness and on an elevated stage, the body, we go beyond the body. Then the consciousness of mind is finished, and we have this awareness that that body which is on the earth, it's on loan in order to carry out the godly task, and that body is not for performing any other task. By moving along whilst considering yourself to be a guest in this way, your every action will automatically be elevated. May I request to mute the mic, please? Someone's mic is unmuted, I believe. So constantly move along with this consciousness. So the consciousness plays a very vital role. Those who move along with this consciousness constantly remain intoxicated. So this is another feature. They naturally have their home in their awareness. Not just the home, but the six things you speak of in the introduction of the Father are naturally in their consciousness. This is an important aspect. Baba says the six things which we speak of in the introduction of the Father, the Supreme Soul, Shiv Baba, those things are also applicable to the self naturally, because we are his children. Just as in order to give the introduction of the Father, you speak of six things in essence, in which the entire knowledge is included, you relate that essence in six aspects. So, too, if you move along considering yourself to be a guest, you will have in your awareness the six aspects of your own self. You are named. Now, Baba is describing these six aspects. First one, you are named the most elevated Brahmins. Your form is that of saligrams. In this way, you naturally have the awareness of your home, the time, your task, and your inheritance. Home, the time, task, and the inheritance. So these are the six aspects. The entire knowledge that you have been hearing in expansion for all this time will be put into its essence. Whatever words you speak or actions you carry out will have the essence within them. They will not be without the essence. Without the essence means wasteful. If there is no essence, then it is considered as wasteful. So there should be the essence of the entire knowledge in your every word and action. That will only happen when you have the essence of the entire knowledge in your intellect. By constantly staying in intoxication, you will be able to hit your target. If you do not have any intoxication, you will not be able to hit your target. By having the essence of knowledge in your intellect in six aspects, the entire knowledge is revised. If there is less intoxication, there is fluctuation in the aim. This is point to be noted. The less the intoxication, there will be more fluctuation in the aim. And more the intoxication, the aim will be stable. One moment you have intoxication in full force, and the next moment it becomes of the middle level. The lowest stage has now finished. You should be totally ignorant of what the lowest stage is, the low energy levels. The soul should be totally ignorant of the lowest stage. Then there are the elevated and the middle stages. When the soul is totally ignorant of the lowest stage, then there are, what are the other stages? One is the middle stage, and next one is the elevated stage. Because you come into the stage of the middle level, the result and your aim also becomes the middle level. So, as is our stage, so is the result and aim. At the present time, if you look at the stage of your awareness and the stage of service, the result is of the middle level. So Baba is telling us to look at the stage of our awareness and the stage of our service. Where are they? And Baba is declaring the result also that it is at the middle level presently. The majority of you say that your result is not what it should be. The main result of having the middle level is that you have not yet fully burnt the sanskars of the middle period. So the main result of having the middle level stage is that the souls have not yet fully burnt the sanskars of the middle period. That is 63 births, sanskars. Because of being under the influence of the sanskars of the middle period, that is, the sanskars of the copper age onwards, the sanskars of body consciousness and weaknesses with which you have been filling yourself, the result is of the middle level. So, this is the reason the souls experience the middle level because of the sanskars of the middle period. The complaint you make is that you did not wish it, but because of having sanskars over a long period of time, it happens. So, you have not fully burned the sanskars of the middle period. Doctors also try to finish completely the germs of any illness. If there is the slightest trace remaining, a whole progeny is created out of just the trace of one. I was giving example of the doctors when they perform a surgery, they finish completely the germs of any illness. So, in the same way, when you have the slightest trace of the sanskars of the middle period, although it is just a trace today, tomorrow it would become a progeny. Any ansh, any trace of the middle period sanskar can become the vansh or the progeny. Because of being under this influence, you are not able to attain the elevated result that you should. When you ask others if they are content with themselves, their effort and their service and their connection with the family, Brahmin family, they start to think about it. They do say yes, but only after thinking about it, not instantly with that intoxication. You should receive a certificate of contentment from all souls in three subjects. So, these three subjects, Baba says, the soul should receive a certificate of contentment instantly. Your own effort, your service, and your connection with others. The certificate you receive will not be any writing on a piece of paper, but you will have the experience of it from each one. So it's basically the experience. The soul will experience contentment in these three subjects: contentment with own effort, your service, and the service, and the connection with other. In this way, those who are victorious in keeping the self content and making others content when coming into connection with all souls become one of the 8 deities, a victorious jewel. This is a secret of becoming one of the 8 Ashtaratan, a victorious jewel. In 2 aspects, you are okay. But in the third aspect, you are number wise according to your capacity. You are number wise in every aspect, but to a greater extent in this particular aspect. Which is that aspect? Baba says, if you are not content in any of the 3, then you cannot come in one of the 8, that is, one of the elevated souls. In order to pass with honor, you should receive this passport of contentment from all the souls. This is that third aspect, where something is lacking. There is something lacking in the aspect of coming into connection with others. So I think we'll finish off today's session here and take on the rest of the session tomorrow in the part 2 of this Murli. So I will request all the members of the Divine Family to churn on the vital aspects brought out by Bab Dada in this Avyakt Murli Part 1 and apply it to ourselves. What Bab Dada is trying to say and what is he expecting from us. So we'll take a pause for 1 minute and then come back with our experience, with our sharings or any queries. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Now let's begin sharing of our experience or the churning. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Ji, Bhai Ji, and Divine Family.
Ji,
Yes,
Om Shanti.
Baba. Yes, Baba. I love you forever. Each time you give us so easy, so beautiful memory hook. I love these rhyming words. Mahan with Mahanta. Yes, Baba, I am your great child because you are my great father. But Baba, I will also keep in mind I am just a guest in this beautiful body. I love my body. Why? Because body and me as a soul both are interconnected and both are highly, highly important. So with this body, I am able to do service at home and as well as at workplace, as well as everywhere. So for me, remembering this, I am just a guest and I have traveled almost more than half of my journey and little bit is left. This is my takeaway for today and I will practice from now on. Thank you, Ji. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Wonderful. Thank you, sister. Baba has given us, these two very vital things in the form of two words, which should always be there in our awareness. One is, I am an elevated soul. Second is, I, the soul, am at present a guest in this whole world and this whole body. Anyone else kindly share?
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
Just yesterday, Baba told us, in yesterday's Avyakt Murli, kick off your body consciousness, kick it off. How long are you going to carry it and say, yeah, it's a middle level, you're not mediocre. But today, he wants, the river of knowledge, I have swallowed the ocean of knowledge from the Lord. But he's asking me to bring it down to just an essence. He wants me now to condense it into its refined form, in an essence form. He says, yes, you have got remembrance, you are a detached observer, but more than that, the refined form, what he said is, as you said, Mahan and Mehman. I'm an elevated soul, I'm a guest soul. For guest soul, he very just says your detachment is there. Once your detachment goes away, attraction finishes and all. But when he comes to elevated, he's given us, who am I? I'm an elevated Brahmin. What is your form? A form of a point of energy. Where is your home? My home is far beyond in Parman, where my father resides. What is the time? The best time, the conference age. What is your task? My task is to make myself soul conscious, and then I claim my inheritance. So if this kind of nasha I have and I throw my target, then I think I am towards glory.
Yes, sister. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Yes, these six aspects are definitely very important of our own self, and these are nothing but actually they are in the praise of the Supreme Soul, which are also applicable for us. So these six aspects, if we keep in our awareness, definitely it leads to the intoxication, and which is the intoxication affects our aim. The higher the intoxication, the better is our aim, and there will be constant, that aim will always be there in our awareness. Anyone else?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
I like this line that Baba said, finish the consciousness of mind. Right. Then many of its companions also finishes there. and then we can go beyond. So this one word, right, mind, this can uplift us. This can take us to a higher stage, right? This when we say mind, there can be the consciousness of body, and at the same time, with practice, we can also bring the consciousness of soul, right? So when the conscious shift happen from body to soul, that's where our stage goes up and also comes down. So what matters is the awareness.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Wonderful point. Samples also. Can anyone bring out those two examples Baba gave, the Lockic examples to relate? Baba took the example of doctors. In what sense? In which context?
I'm Shanti, brother. Good morning, everyone.
Shanti, yeah, Dr. Vinod is telling me, yeah.
So, I was about to come up with the same point. That is the germs multiplication. The bacteria, the viruses, even if they are in tiny concentration, they would multiply soon enough to emerge out bigger and come up, make the individual more sick. So the awareness, the consciousness, and the thoughts that run towards any matter, any situation, or any person would eventually become bigger and occupy your entire, say, feeling or mood. I was wondering, yes, this did happen to me early morning today as well. I mean, I later, as Baba reconciled, he was consoling me that be in the guest consciousness, be it body or be it your presence in the entire world itself on this earth. It is meant to be like a guest. Initially, my conception of being a guest was that we are as a guest on the earth. But now today, Baba opened eyes and says, you're also guest into the body as well. So Ansh se Vansh, that is from tiny thing, it can grow to a massive tree. So do not take over there and be in the intoxication of what you are becoming. The king, the future owners of the Satyuga. So that was very inspiring. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Wonderful, Vinod Bhai. This guest consciousness is very wonderful concept. I think we can do a little more churning on this. Imagine that the soul is in Param Dham, and now the soul is coming to this world as a guest. Check in first. What happens when we go to a hotel? We first check in. We take, first unload the luggage, then go to the checking counter. Thereafter, we give our particulars to the reception at the reception, and thereafter some room is being allotted to us. Then that room is elevated one. We look for the best room. So such kind of if we relate, and then we perform every action, we don't consider the hotel to be mine, but just we know that's temporarily a loan to us. We have taken a loan. So maybe we can do some more churning on this. I would invite other
I'm sorry,
members.
yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, in fact, Baba also said that example that when Baba comes to this Brahma Baba's body, right? So Baba is a guest there, and Baba comes and then speak to Murli and then leave. Baba is guest there. And you rightly said, brother, see, even we consider ourselves to be guest in somebody's home, then we have that awareness that I must leave now or later. So we have that awareness constantly within us. And so that we don't really have that attachment to anything that which we, if you take personal things that we have in our home, some of the things we knowingly or unknowingly, we are getting slightly attached to it, right? So that attachment is finishing when we when we consider ourselves to be a guest. As we
Yes.
can check that in ourselves when we go to somebody's home for staying this for there
Yes.
for a temporary time, right? So we don't
Yes.
occupy or we don't preserve or we don't keep that for ourselves for a longer period. We'll have that back in our mind. We'll have this consciousness. I must leave this.
And also when
Right.
we go to somebody's house or to the hotel, we always maintain it in a neat and clean, we are always concerned that whatever stage we have taken it on loan, we should give it in the same form. It should be
Right.
exactly
The
same.
awareness, yeah, I'm sorry, the awareness
Yeah.
that not belonging to us, that is constantly there when we have that
Yes.
this single word guest.
Yes. Yes.
Om Shanti,
Yeah.
brother.
Yes.
Sometimes, I use a little bit of logic. Forgive me for it. I'll tell you why. See, when I'm going to somebody's house and they say, and I know I'm a guest, but what is the feeling which is really given by that person who has allowed me as a guest? Apna ghar samajhna. Stay nicely. If suppose I'm just going to say, hey, ye mera nahi hai, ye uska ghar hai, I sometimes feel that kind of involvement or that kind of contribution which I have to give in that period when I'm staying as a guest, is it justified? Because even when Baba gives us the knowledge, he says, I am a soul and this is my body. No, that's the first thing. I am a soul and this is my body. But now, Baba, if you see in the first paragraph, he's saying by considering it to be your own body, many things will come. So sometimes I just try to bring about that logic in this. How far Mehman? What is the degree of Mehman, or what are the qualities of Mehman which I should do? Because I want to enjoy. My soul has to enjoy while in this body. I'm not saying it's this body is mine, but I am a soul and this is the body. So it belongs to the soul. So sometimes this Mehman clash, a kind of, I try to draw compartments. As I gave you an example, going to somebody's house, apna apan nahi hai. So this guest thing, yeah, when Baba comes on loan, how does Brahma Baba take? He is totally absorbed in Shiv Baba. As if everything, yes, and Shiv Baba enjoys himself in Brahma Baba's body, and Brahma Baba enjoys his presence. If I see if Baba's relationship. So I just said sometimes I use logic.
Yeah. Before we take on some reflection on what you just said, I will just read some messages on the chat box. I think you only said soul sustenance and reverse the searchlight. Okay. And we are the praise. Radha Mani sister says, we are the praiseworthy soul for the entire Kalpa. Yes. Not only present, but also future and also during the path of the bhakti. Considering ourselves as a guest, then our every action will automatically be elevated. And the reflection on what Girja's sister just said is basically we are not saying we are going to anybody's other home as a guest. We are coming to this world as a guest and my own body as a guest. Not from Param Dham we are coming. We are. It's kind of an incarnation, you can say. आत्मा का अवतरण हुआ इस शरीर में. I did not, I, the soul, did not decide which body I will get. It is decided by according to my thoughts, words, and actions which I had performed in the past. So I got the body according to that. And also, and this in this world, I have to play a role. So how to play that role? Baba is telling us to be in the guest consciousness. How to be a good guest? Let's take this as a homework. How to be a good guest where I am in 100% guest consciousness. That means 0% attachment. And all attachment with one Baba and Paramdham, from where I came and whom I belong. That's all. So we can take this as a homework. And Sakshi sister has given a message that Baba has given the soul this body on temporary loan. Yes, in order to carry out the godly task. Yeah. And regarding the task, Baba has given the three things. Someone can just bring out the three things Baba has given us how about contentment. How should our task be? The godly task also should be performed in this three keeping the three certificates or the three contentment experiences. Someone may bring out.
Contentment with our own efforts, with our service and connection with others.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. And Sakshi sister also said you should receive a certificate of contentment from all souls in three subjects: your own effort, your service, and your connection with others. So while we just said no, that homework is how to be a good guest, uh, these checking points are these three. The guest will always be content with own self, content with others. The others will be content with him. The and then service. What service he is performing, the soul will be contented with that. So these three aspects of checking. So if any other point, or else we move on to meditation. Yes, Gija sister says that. So I am always on loan. Yes, I'm always on loan, and the loan has been given by the Almighty to me. I must return it back in the same serviceable stage that I got received the loan, with interest. And the interest is the service, the well-wishing, the good pure energy. I have to give a lot of interest in the form of the pure energy to everyone. First, pure energy has to be given to my own self and to the others constantly, and that is the service. So, Om Shanti, we'll move on to the meditation session, a minute of meditation. Be in silence, deep silence. Take the awareness to the Param Dham, the supreme abode, the soul world, where we all belong to the one almighty authority, Shiv Baba, the incorporeal one, the egoless, the purest. Experience all belongingness to the one Father at Param Dham. This is my original form, and this is the form of the incorporeal Father. As He is, now I move on, I incarnate in that world which is far below the supreme abode on the earth. Visualize the soul is traveling across the universe, the stars, the galaxies, down to the world stage. I, the soul, is on the world stage now and taken alone of own body, which is given to me by the Almighty. I, the soul, is now looking at this body. See the body from top to the toe. This is a body on loan. I am still connected with the Supreme Soul. All my relationships with the Supreme Soul. Yet I am playing the role through this body. Body is mine, but it is not me. I, the soul, is a guest in this body and in this world. I do not belong to this, neither this body nor this world. I belong to the highest on high, the supreme abode. I belong to the Supreme Soul, the highest energy, the highest form of consciousness, the highest awareness. And my mind, my intellect, and my sanskars are immersed in this highest consciousness. I am feeling content with my own self, the beautiful me, the elevated me. I am content with my service of spreading pure energy to every soul on this world stage. I am constantly connected with the Supreme Soul, who is also playing a part at this present time, sharing the stage with us, divine Brahmin souls. And this contentment, these three contentments are the basis of contentment in the entire Kalpa. The elevated stage is the foundation of the attainments throughout the entire Kalpa. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, every soul who's sharing the world stage. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Happy Holi to all the divine members of the divine family. We'll meet again tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba.
Om